and give us a lot of credit defensively. I thought we did an unbelievable job on the little guy, Lilly. He's really a good player. He can score it in a lot of different ways, and I thought he didn't even get many shots off. We tried to do some things, probably put Monty in a bad position. Offensively, I didn't think we were very good the first half, of course, and part of that for most of the half was we just don't have enough scorers in there with Tyson when he comes out because of foul trouble. But the bright spots were Tyson played pretty good. AJ has had 3 games in a row now. He's starting to, I think I'm going to bench the rest of the team. Maybe they'll all do a better job because AJ's been dynamite. Really has, and I don't mean because he's scoring or he's doing this. He's been fun to coach, and I told you that's why I sat him. And I think he's leading better. He's doing a better job in those respects, and I think that's the hardest thing about coaching, and it's the most important thing. And this day and age, I feel sorry for a lot of guys because you can't do it because everybody will transfer. But to his credit, he hung in there. I guess the best thing I can say about him, it was a 60% free throw shooter, and we just stayed on him and on him. Tried a few assistant coaches over my time, and Mark Montgomery works with him every day, and I think he's shooting 90% now. Anybody know? Jack, you're the statistician. But I thought Hogarth played good, and of course Hauser and Walker. Those 3 were good. Our big struggled a little bit. Jay Nickens is getting better. He's getting healthier. He still thinks he can tell his body what to do, and his body is, some of those dribble things are just going off because he's not there yet. And I don't expect him to be there till Christmas, so no pressure on him for that. He's just got to realize that and let the game come to him. When he spots up, his shot has been really good. Little bad job rebounding the ball. They got some second chance rebounds, which I think they only averaged 5 or 6, and they got 11. But the other positives were 21 assists on 27 baskets, 6 turnovers, which really good for us. 6 for 6 in the line, we're just not getting there enough. And I'm the happiest guy in America that 11 games of hell is over. I really am. Sorry, but it was something. And now we got 11 days till the next game, which some coaches will tell you isn't very good either. But it's going to be good for us because we're going to get some practice time. I mean, the young guys, the Mahdi's, even though young and experienced, 2 other bigs, Pierre, those guys, Trey, they need practice time, and they're going to get it. I mean, we're going to have finals. We're going to practice during finals. It's legal. I don't need props, man. I mean, we're allowed to practice, just not allowed to play games. And we're going to get some rest. We're going to do some of that because they need it. And I'm going to go on the road recruiting. So it'll be a good deal. Questions?
Tom, you talked about the decisions by Hogarth, and I'm wondering, it seemed like the team plays him differently today. They sag off him a little bit. He hit some shots in rhythm, but didn't really, except for maybe one shot, take anything that wasn't.
You saw that shot too, huh?
A little bit of heat check. You gotta find out if you're gonna miss, right? I mean, no, but anyway, besides that shot, it seems like he took what was there again, which is what you're looking for.
Yeah, hey, if he takes one bad shot a game, you got no problem with his head coach. I have no problem at all. He is running our team better. He's getting in things better. There's going to be a process here. The free throw shooting is much better. Working on his game more. I'm not sure if he's not still in great shape or if he's just tired some. Because sometimes in transition, but he pushed the ball better. That was better. We just still looked out of sync, and some of it was the lineups we had in there and some things we did. But trust me when I say we need some practice time because we got less than probably any team in the country. And every coach knows you need some. Even the players, I think, would tell you we need some practice time.
Joey obviously had a big game with the points in the second half, but the first half in particular, it seemed like things were flowing through him. And the things that he's able to do in terms of seeing the perimeter guys, how much does that, when you talk about the offense being struggling, how much does that help pull those other guys out?
Joey Hauser's my most, he's got the highest basketball IQ. I mean, ironically, my two forwards are probably the highest basketball IQ. Him and Malik probably have the highest basketball IQ. And so we are playing through Joey more at the end of the break and things like that. We're trying to play through him. Even if we put him in a post, we're trying to play through him. I think at times, he's still playing too many minutes right now. I'd like to get some rotation in there, which I'm sure we'll get to do once we get back on track. I mean, he still played 32, 33 minutes in this game. And but as I said, for a lot of my guys, once in a while we look really tired, and I don't think it's that we're out of shape or we're out all night or we're this or that. I think it's just been the grind. And I think those things are going to get better for us. But yeah, we're playing through Joey. I mean, he only had 4 assists, but it's because we missed some shots. But I thought he did a great job. You know, he's rebounding better. He's just he's a very smooth player out there. He sees the game before the play comes, and that's what great people do with high basketball IQs.
Tom, we've been through some of this before. You said you wanted 20 free throws.
Yeah, I did.
Accuracy is terrific, 6 for 6, but only 2 guys shot any today. Who needs to get to the hole?
Well, Jaden will. I mean, Jaden will definitely. And give them some credit. They turned us down on ball screens. They did some things that, you know, they played smaller. They switched a lot. I mean, I did think they did some things that were really good. But Jaden's got to get to the line more. AJ didn't get there as much today, 4 times. But Tyson, you know, played 20 minutes. He's probably going to get there more, and then every one of our bigs. And they just have to get there more. But that's the other problem. You know, Malik Hall was getting there and will get there. And that's why guys like that are so important. But we're not doing a very good job of that. We're not getting there. It's probably one of my best free throw shooting teams you and I figured out. And I don't know what we're averaging. Does anybody know how many times we're going there? What the hell do you guys do for a day job? Huh? You guys should have those stats down, man. You know, we're not great on great nights as far as getting there. You know, I'd like to get there a little bit more. So, you know, we'll have to practice that too. We got a lot of things to practice, man. I promise you, when we will get better.
I'm talking about all these things you have to practice, and Jade getting healthy, and you're going to get Malik back eventually, and freshmen figuring things out. Is there a comfort where you're kind of getting that point where you know on a nightly basis with AJ, Joey, Tyson, what you're getting from? Not that they're going to be perfect every night, but you feel like you're getting this consistent effort from these guys at this point now. You can count on that at least.
Just thinking how to answer that, because I get scared when a guy has 2 or 3 good games, and I think my buddy Saban calls it, you're rat poisoning my guys, you know. But I am getting more comfortable. But I just told him before I left him, you're going to have me on your back till the year's over. Then maybe a senior year, dial it back, because that's what you do. But I do think we're making progress, you know. And yet then Joey has a day where he doesn't score it, and this guy has a day where he doesn't shoot it well. But I do think those 3 guys have been steady. I do think Jaden will be a very good 2-way guard. He'll guard people. He's not even guarding well yet for Jaden. And I'm telling you, he can guard the world. And so we got some work to do at center. When we get Malik back, if we have to, we could play small ball and do some things there. But it is getting a little more comforting. Let's not give anybody too much credit yet. And we just beat Brown, and we didn't, you know, which I like their team, but we didn't set the world on fire offensively. But when AJ is like he's been in practice, a few times we had one day prep for this one. He was good. The day of the shoot around, he was good. And not that he's ever been like bad. I can tell a lot more engaged. And I appreciate that. I think that's the greatest thing about coaching, if you can take somebody that doesn't get it, and all of a sudden, you know, as they say, the proverbial light bulb goes on. If that light bulb goes on, and it can stay on, that's the work right now. Can the light bulb stay on? But I like the fact that I can, you know, I think we're having conversations about it, and he handled it well when I didn't start, you know. But I think I handled it well, because I called him in and told him. I didn't just bench him, I just called him and told him why. You know, and I always said when I got this job, the difference with this generation and the one before is you don't get to be a dictator and tell a kid what to do anymore. You have to tell him why he's got to do this. You got to come up with reasons that where it'll help him and the team. It used to be Vince Lombardi said, do this, jump, ask how high, you know, that was great. Those things aren't happening anymore. But right now, I think AJ's starting to say, man, he was on me about my free throws, he was on me about my weight, he was on me about my defense. Geez, I'm doing those things better, and geez, I'm playing better, and we're playing better. So it doesn't take Einstein to figure that out. And if we can keep that going, I've enjoyed the progress he's made immensely, really have.
Tom, it feels like you haven't had a lot of breaks, like the one you have coming up, you know, 10 days, 1 day off. I mean, you mentioned some coaches might be kind of scared of that. How do you approach it to make sure you get the most out of it that you can, I guess?
I can't say I've ever had that either, but I've never had this other one, and it's like that. I mean, what we're going to do is give him today off, give him Monday off, and then we'll find some practice time Tuesday and Wednesday. Probably give him Thursday off, and then we'll do like football. We'll try to game week. We'll take Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and you know, not go crazy, but we'll take a day and say we're working on our offense today, and we need a couple of those days because that's where we're a little out of sync. We're getting better defensively. Today we got to rebound the ball better. We got a game rebounder. We got guys out there looking and watching, and our wing guys, I mean, we're not big enough inside, so our wings got to get rebounds. Jaden gets 7 rebounds, 1, 6 rebounds, 1. What did you get today? 3, you know, that's not good enough. Pierre, never good enough. I mean, he got 6, and I say it's not good enough because Pierre could be a monster rebounder from a wing position. He really could. He's got all the attributes. But I guess got to give him a little credit. That's a little bit better. And Kohler did a pretty good job. But AJ's done a pretty good job rebounding the ball too, and that helps when your point guard gets in there and gets some rebounds.
Coach, what was that energy like, you know, on the bench after the game once Joey hit that 1,000-point mark?
You know, it was, somebody mentioned it in the huddle, Joey didn't even know it, and before they announced it. And probably one of the great things I feel about this team that I told you this summer, watching Marty after the Kentucky game and how the guys rallied around him, watching AJ after the Penn State game and the scene in the locker room, watching Joey today and how they gravitated to him. That's 3 different people, and that means your team does care about each other and is having some fun. In the huddle, it was great. I mean, because everybody knows he's been through a lot, you know, and it was great. I couldn't be prouder of him, but the rest of my team too for acknowledging it.
Tom, knowing what you know now with this 11-game stretch, why was it beneficial for your team, like this stretch?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's why. Because you know, I had a hard time talking to you guys about it because, you know, the minute you say something, you're making an excuse. And I understood it. I'm usually pretty open about it, and at first I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to say they were tired, you know. I mean, I think the greatest show of it was at Penn State, the first 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I kept saying to my staff, we're in quicksand, man, we can't move. Felt that way at Notre Dame the first half, and yet the second half we played a lot harder and a lot better. So in this screwed up world we're in right now, where you're not allowed to demand anything, kids are not allowed to fail, they're not allowed to be pushed through things. It's hard to push people And I think what we got out of this, we kept pushing. They kept accepting. Guys like AJ got better. Rest of the players see that. If we wouldn't have played those big games, we might have beat some teams by 10 or 15 and not known any of that. You saw today some teams, struggled. I mean, there's going to be games. This is going to be who can sustain a level of play that is good enough. And I think everybody is struggling with that. I think we've caused some of that. I think society has caused some of that. And I think some of the rules have caused some of that. And I just keep preaching to my guys, let's be different. And we haven't been all different yet. But that's going to be my goal, to be honest with you. Let's be different. Let's not give in to this. Let's be different, Let's fight through it. We have a measuring block now of what we've gone through. I mean, I see the top 10 and I say, well, let's see, we played them. Oh, by the way, we played Tennessee in that scrimmage. I mean, that was a game in our minds. And then we played this team and Gonzaga, and then we played that team and Alabama. And, I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't think we're that much better than anybody. But I think you can go into a meeting room and say, hey, we've been defended so many different ways and have so many different offenses. The guys that deserve the credit are not me, as my staff, because when they have to scout a team, I've never seen this many different, I don't know why, but maybe it's the players. Maybe coaches are trying to figure out how to play some of the players because everybody's transferred in, they're not staying. I don't know what it is, but it's been a little different. And but we've done what we always do. We play good people. We take our lumps. We learn from them. We get better. This is going to be the most critical 2 weeks, 3 weeks of our season. And then just when we feel like we're getting back, now we got to add Malik. And not that I can't wait till we add Malik, but that'll take an adjustment too. So he won't be out as long as Jaden was. But look at guys, it helped us. But when I sat here at our first press conference and said we could be 1-7 in those games, I was dead serious. And as I look back, I think we could have won 1 or 2 more games also. So I got enough to complain about either way to my team, and I got enough good things to point to. It's fun when you can be honest with your team. And I'm gonna be able to be honest with them, because I can look at that top 10 and say, who are you afraid of? Then I can look at a couple teams that beat us and say, who do you think you're better than? And I think it's gonna help. I really do.
One final one here.
The offense always just seems to run smoother when Tyson's on the court. What does he do so well, I guess, that facilitates that?
Tyson has been as much of my improved player as anybody, if you ask me. He's really good defensively, can cover anybody, can get a shot for himself. He's a very good shooter. I think he too, we need to run a few more things for him. That's what we got to get straightened out, figuring out who we're going to run some things for. But I think Tyson, his energy level, he said to me at the beginning of the year, man, what a difference being here a year. If I would have sat out, would I have been a better player last year? Well, of course you would. But everybody's going through that, and I think he's more comfortable. I think he feels more comfortable. I think he's a heck of an athlete, smart kid, got a pretty good basketball IQ, and he's the guy that's having fun right now, because I think he's the best conditioned guy I got, and I think he's enjoying himself, and he too it's fun. It's a fun team to coach. They drive me nuts because of the offensive illnesses sometimes, but some of that is because of the personnel we have, and it'll get better. So I'm excited for a couple of days off. I'm gonna hit the road for a couple of them, but I can sleep in a plane or relax or do something, and we'll have some good practices. That's going to be really critical. We get really specific in those practices, and I'm going to do that and see if somehow, because that damn Campy, sometimes he's 9-1, sometimes he's 1-9. It never matters. Never matters. Just when those of you that want to gamble, when they put the spread up there, if it's different than 1 point, man, don't bet on it, because there's been so many games that have gone right down to the wire. That's not comforting to play them coming off 11 days off, but we'll get her done, and our fans have been so good that maybe they'll help us win a game, and then we got Christmas and we don't play again until when? 30th? I mean, 2 games in what, 23, how many?
We have
24?
5 games in the next month between
Yeah, but I
today
mean, from
and
now to the Big
Yeah.
Ten starts, what's today, the 10th?
Yeah.
So the 11th to the
January 3rd.
January 3rd, we have
You
2
got-
games.
3 until into the Christmas break, and then 2 coming out of it. So it'll be like over a month with even with the 2 Big Ten games on the other side. 5 games in a month.
Who in the hell scheduled this? Huh?
I think it's great.
Do you? Because you don't want to work.
Hey, man.
You get a little time off.
It's been a long haul for us too.
You know what? You know what? I sympathize with you.
Don't sympathize
I've
too
told
much.
you that. I mean, I'm not going to do it after Christmas, but my Christmas present, I'm going to sympathize with all of you. And just settles. It's good to have you back, brother.